So welcome guys to the Red Devil NCR. I'm Pulkit Bhuya, आपका host and दोस्त. और मेरे साथ है वैभव भाई. Webber Bhai has been welcomed in the recent show
Thank
only,
you.
and we are very happy to have him for the review. A very hard fought match which we didn't expected from our side, but we conceded first, then we got back, then we conceded again. But till that, we scored 3 goals. तो उसी चीज की हम बात करने जा रहे हैं. मेरे साथ वैभव भाई है. So Weber, my first question about Cristiano Ronaldo itself. That guy missed around open goals of 3 to 4 goals. We could have been up with 7 goals to 4, to be honest, in that game. Any reviews on that guy first?
Look, I think definite. I wouldn't. It's very hard to say that whether age is caught up with him or something like that because we do not see him outrightly training in front of us. It could be because he's not playing regularly. I think the last start he had was I think in the Europa League game, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, there's definitely you definitely get affected when you're not playing consistently. But then again, there is no excuses, because those chances. I mean, any decent striker, any medium average level striker would have scored those goals. So I think a disappointing night for him, and I'm sure there are things needed to be introspect in that aspect of things because look, we cannot just cater to the needs of Ronaldo all the time because we as a team, as a 10 system, we want to play a free, fast-flowing football, right? Wherein everyone is pressing very high. With a 37-year-old Ronaldo, you're certainly not going to get that press, right? You can get that with Anthony Martial or maybe Rashford when he plays up front. So there is this very big advantage. So, maybe it is very hard for the team to sort of adopt to Ronaldo's methods with sort of keeping up with what Ten Hag is trying to install in this team. I just feel the future for Ronaldo under Ten Hag just kind of seems very dark and gloomy because you know it's been clear in the past few months or since the time Ten Hag has been here, he's clearly not fitted into his system very adequately. Ten Hag is kind of looking for a change. I mean, the fact that he's shown so much faith in Anthony Martial with his injuries and with a bad loan spell in Sevilla, rather than Cristiano Ronaldo, who's been the player of the season in the previous year. I mean, just sheds the light onto the fact that, maybe it's time that, we are going to be moved on from the CR7 dream, I would say. So yeah, I definitely think Ten Hag has decided to, sort of move him on, and performance like that is not going to help his cause in the future.
And what about the first half? You felt that you didn't expect that scoreline in the first half, that United conceding first, and of course we had some several players who were not playing, like Varane was not there, Dier was not there, and Saka was not there. Like lots of absentees were there, and we saw that many youngsters were on the bench. So were you like expected that we will concede first with Victor Lindelof playing after so long for the first team along with Martinez?
Look, there's always an opportunity to concede when you're playing such a high line. You always fear that maybe some team can play a through ball or a long ball, and they can just hit you on the break. But then the way we conceded was very unfortunate because I felt Malaysia at that goal was very, very terrible. I mean, he should have done better at that stage. And I mean, look, I don't mind us conceding what 2 to 3 goals if you're scoring 4 or 5, because that's what you get in a highline. That's what you get in a system of Pep Guardiola or in Eric Ten Hag system when you play for Ajax. But then the problem here is not that we're conceding goals, but the problem here is we are conceding scrappy goals, goals which should not be conceded. And these sort of errors are just going to hamper the confidence of the players, because somebody like a Malaysia, who's not had who's not had a great weekend, particularly with the City game and the game yesterday. I think Ten Hag needs to retrospect and sort of cut down on those defensive errors because that was Omonia FC from a Kryptonia division, which is fourth in the league. Had it been any decent team, I'm sure Man United would have been punished. You cannot have those defensive errors, or you cannot have those blunders. When you're playing against top quality teams. So that needs to be taken care of. I mean, for me, it's simple enough. We need to play a high line, but we need to be watertight in that defense because, as Sir Alex had also said, attack wins you matches, defense wins you titles, and trophies. So I just believe that, conceding these crappy goals, yes, we got away with that. We were up 3-1 and, well, they came back with second goal. I still believe, we need to work on those crappy goals, especially from, those defensive errors, be it from Malacia or from Lindelof or, those, ball positioning where we lose the ball from the midfield. So we need to work on that. So yes, I think it's not about, there's a new team on the bench, there's a new team on the field and stuff like that. As a manager, I'm sure Eric Ten Hag would want to concede lesser goals because you see, it's been the story of his United season so far. He's conceded, I think, one of the most goals in the first half. If you talk about Brighton, then Brentford, Man City 4. So I think Eric Ten Hag needs to work on that. You know, not conceding in the first half and trying not to concede a scrappy goal. So
Do
yeah,
you feel
I do
that,
think that
like,
is the
do
case.
you feel that he can give a chance to Luke Shaw again ahead of Malacia if these type of errors start happening? Because Luke Shaw came just in the second half itself. We saw in City and this game. So looks like he's leaving again on Luke Shaw and trying to realize Malacia that you need to work on your defense. You play absolutely brilliant like Evra in your first some games. You was brilliant against Liverpool. But what he did against City and this Omonia team at the first half, I guess Derek Ten Hag has given him a straight induction that, bro, if you're not getting up your game, Luke Shaw is on the line. He's fit. He has been brilliant for England in that Nation League, so he can come off. Do you feel like that?
I think it's a very good thing to have competition in the squad, because I mean, it helps both the players, right? They're on their toes. They're trying their hardest to, impress the manager and be on the starting lineup. So I think it's going to help both of them. That competitiveness would help both of them. And I'm sure, look, um, Malaysia is a new signing, right? He's a new signing and he's come from the French league, I believe. And I think we need to sort of give him some leverage, right? Still time settling in with a new team with somebody with a senior figure like Luke Shaw helping him around and with Eric Ten Hag, I'm sure he'll do well. But then again, you talk about Luke Shaw coming in and those sort of statements sent down by Eric Ten Hag to Malaysia that there's Luke Shaw there who's been a very good left back for England. I think competitions like this would help enhance both the performances of both the players. Luke Shaw and Malaysia can fight for that one spot, and I'm sure each and every one of both of them are players with you know good potential and who just wanna start every game, who wanna start at the most, who wanna be the number one left back, who does not want to be shipped out in the next in the next summer, right? Because Eric Ten Hag would take a decision on one of them very soon. Either it's Luke Shaw or either it's Malacia. So I think both of them are playing for their places and for the future. So I think a healthy competition like that is something which we can look forward. But then again, we should not just be clambering upon, like, let's say if Luke Shaw has a one very bad game, we should not just all jump the train and be like, oh, let's bring in Malacia back. Or if Malacia has an off day, we should not just jump the train and be like, oh, let's have Luke Shaw back because that is not going to develop the player. That is not going to help the player. Well, the players would make mistakes, right? There would be one or two mistakes here and there. We need to back those players. We need to install the confidence in them, and we need to get through them for the season. And we can sort of decide as to what we can do with them next season.
But what we learned from Eric Ten Hag is that he's not like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He makes substitution very quick. If he believes that if players are, messing around in that game, he will definitely make that substitution. He doesn't care that if you are a goat to Ronaldo or if you are his native place player or you have played under him. We saw that with Sancho also. He, like when Sancho was not performing, he immediately replaced him with Martial. When he saw that we conceded that goal, he immediately replaced Malacia. That happened in City game also. That also happened that he's also, rotating with Casemiro, Fred, and McTominay. Because as per pundits like Gary Neville, Carragher, if considered as a pundit, then Rio Ferdinand, then Evra, all of them have said that Eric Ten Hag is a manager who's very quick in doing substitution and can change the team well. He said that in his press conference also. If I get a 10 substitution rule, I can change the team right away after conceding so much goals.
I think that is one of the biggest positives of Eric Ten Hag so far I've seen this season. Because it's just so refreshing to see players coming on at halftime or players coming on after 60 minutes just to give that booster or just to sort of cut that scrappy performance of particular players. Because as you said, All he had favorites. He just picked up like what 12, 13 players, and they just continuously played, and there was literally no chance for somebody like a Van der Beek or somebody like an Eric Bailly. So yes, I think with the substitutions, Ten Hag has been very good. I still believe he needs to have a he needs to have a showdown talk, or he needs to be affirmative with what Bruno Fernandes's role is, because honestly speaking, the past few games with the way Bruno has performed, well, he does put in his effort, but then his petulance and the way he's carrying himself in the pitch, you sort of ask questions because Eric Ten Hag's philosophy is, keep the ball in possession, free flowing football, passing and creating chances. With Bruno Fernandes, we all know he goes for that Hollywood pass or that killer pass. So Eric Ten Hag needs to sit him down and work with him. But all in all, I think the substitutions of Eric Ten Hag, the decisions he's made, the changes he's brought into the team, I think he's doing very well as a manager. And his start of what he wants to build around United has been very good. Yes, we may say that what he integrated Casemiro maybe a bit too late, and other there would be other reasons to maybe doubt his changes. Maybe some people have problem with the higher starting so many games and all these things. But then again, we need to see other positives also. I think the biggest positive with Eric Ten Hag is how he elevated the performances of certain players. I think Sancho has been better than last season. Rashford has improved. Martial has improved. Dallo has been the biggest improvement this season. So along with substitutions, the way Eric Ten Hag has elevated the performance of some of these players is something to look up to. So yes, I'm very confident and positive with Eric so far what he's done at this club.
So about in this, this is a grunge month. We all know that this month is filled with fixtures because World Cup is next, and there are lots of players who wants to make into the World Cup squad. So do you think that it's the best thing for Eric Ten Hag to use his substitution magic to give every player a chance, because we have three competitions also, like we have Carabao, we have Premier League, and we have Europa. So it's his best chance to use the academy also, like Zidane, Iqbal, Pelistri, the young player, then players like Garnacho, and then you have players there, McNeil, and then Van de Beek also, who has been pretty off because of his parental issues, but now he's back, and Bruno's keep playing like that, so maybe he can rotate with Bruno and him, and can say, Bruno, you can pass the armband to David De Gea, because no one is going to start over us. So what's your views on?
I think substitutions are going to be key, right? But I don't think we should be making large scale substitutions because, with this team we have seen, we can get a drubbing against somebody like a Brentford or a Brighton with a full strength team. And we can grind out or we can take out a result at Anfield against Liverpool. I don't think we should, just go for like a massive change or a massive overhaul. But yes, substitutions at key points is very important. Rotation policy would be very important. But then again, you need to see what he has on the bench, right? I think Eric Ten Hag is very, very, very thin on centre backs. We saw that yesterday. Um, Maguire, he's injured, and I think he'll be injured for like what 2 weeks. You just have got Lindelof, Martinez, and Varane. Out of which Varane, as we know, is quite injury prone. So over there, Eric Ten Hag is just left with these two centre backs to sort of protect him, and maybe somebody from the academy. Attacking options again. I do think somebody like a McNeil or a Garnacho can sort of feature in next games, particularly in the cup games, I believe. But then again, I just believe that compared to a Man City or Chelsea, Eric Ten Hag is short on substitutes. He needs to look into that bench. If let's say Bruno needs to be taken off, you've got somebody like a Van der Beek there, or if Malaysia is having a bad game, you've got somebody like a Luke Shaw there. But then again, in certain areas, specifically that field, you do not have that quality. Yes, you have got Fred and McTominay, but then I sort of don't have much confidence in them because, in previous 3 years, they've had good performance on and off here and there. But then we talk about consistency, right? To be on the level of a Man City or a Chelsea, you need to have a consistent performance day in and day out. You need to have that strong bench. So it depends on how much faith Eric Ten Hag puts on, these players because as a manager, it's quite it can go both ways. You may make substitutes, to refresh and, to stay your spot fit, and, you may have a result which can go very bad for you. Like yesterday, it could have gone a bit haywire. We were 1-0 down in the first half. We did come back, but then again, had it been a little decent side, things could have been different. So Eric Ten Hag needs to be wary of his players as to whom he's picking, whom he's substituting, because with this United players you've seen, you cannot trust them. You know, since last season, the drubbings which we had, the defeats which we had, the impact which some of these players had over the club, I think there is a loss of trust factor in them. So I think Eric Ten Hag needs to be very, very precautious. But yes, substitutes will play a very, very important role in the coming months, especially during the World Cup or before the World Cup. Sorry.
So coming to the conclusion, which are the some players you felt that they're left out by Eric Ten Hag and they deserve a big shot by Eric Ten Hag? On players you trust. Like, I'm not asking about those players you don't trust, but on players you trust and you feel they deserve a very big shot in this coming month.
Uh, I think Fred, the way he plays, he's a tenacious player, likes to get into the box, quick passer. He could play a very important role. We've seen Ericsson has been a bit cold in previous two games. So, maybe a Fred and a Casemiro can be a very good, unit in the defense, in the midfield. Donny, when he is fit or when he's sorted his issues off the field, I think Donny could be key. There were reports that Eric Ten Hag thinks he's Culper's requirement, but then I believe Donny can still have a future. Depends on how Eric Ten Hag uses him, because because I think with Donny Van der Beek, you just never know. There may be a move on the horizon in the January transfer window. So with Donny, it's going to be key. Um, I think other players, you could say Dubravka could have got into. You could give a shout out to Dubravka. Maybe he would have started. Maybe I felt he should have had a game yesterday. But then again, that just shows Eric Ten Hag has made it very clear that David De Gea is his number one keeper, undisputed number one keeper. So, well, again, it's refreshing to see a clarity from a manager in that prospect. Um, I don't think Van Bissaka has a future. It's he's made it very clear with Van Bissaka, that he does not trust him. Maybe if Dallo is injured or he's overpowered, you can throw in a Van Bissaka, but then again, I think I don't think Van Bissaka has a future in this United setup.
How about the attacking
And
options?
yes,
Like, we have lots of attacking options. Lots of Grenacho, McNeil, Pellistri, Ronaldo, Martial, Rashford, Sancho, Anthony. Like 7 options we have proper. And if I can add, there are 2 in. They are like Zidane Iqbal, and they have like Zidane Iqbal also very underrated player, and he was on the bench, and I was very praised by him. Like many
yes.
players, many people said that Zidane could have got a shot. Yes.
Again, with the attacking options, I think yes, you should choose your attacking options, especially the youngsters. You need to give them the game time so that they can develop. It's no point developing them by just having them on the bench and training with the first team. It's literally not going to help them in the development. But then again, I believe you need to be very precautious with these young players. You just cannot throw them into challenges. Like I think it would be a very, very risky decision. Just to throw in a Garnacho, at halftime 0-0 against an Everton. Maybe when we're going at a very maybe when we have got the game under control. Let's just say we've got in the Carabao Cup. Aston Villa, we're 2-0 up. 70 minutes. Maybe in the last 20 minutes, you can throw in a McNeil or Zidane Iqbal. So I think you need to be very, very careful with your attacking options because so many of them are youngsters. They haven't really played the top quality football. Some of them need a loan spell, I believe. Ahmad has gone to Sunderland, and it's been a bit average to above average for him. Tahith Chong has been in Birmingham, injured, unfortunately. So
Pellistri.
I think some of these players, yeah, Facundo Pellistri, I think Facundo Pellistri and Garnacho could be key in the coming days, because the way Eric Ten Hag likes to play, with his wingers and attacker and fullbacks, bombing forward, creating chances. And well, I'm a big fan of Zidane Iqbal. I think this boy is special. Zidane Iqbal, Charlie McNeil, they've got very bright future. It's just how you manage them. You know, Maybe with time you can sort of integrate them. Like how we saw with Greenwood.
And
Obviously
McTominay.
what's been, yeah, McTominay, Greenwood. With what's been going around with Greenwood, putting that aside. I mean, the way he was integrated into the first team, if you remember in the 2019 season, it
Inter
started with
Milan friendly
those
goal. Inter Milan friendly
yeah,
goal.
Inter Milan friendly goals and that match against Tranmere Rovers in the Europa
Hmm.
League. So you need to be very precautious and you need to sort of uh, see as to how you can integrate these players so that they don't feel the pressure of playing at the highest level and they can just enjoy out there and express themselves. So yes,
So,
attacking we do have options, but we need to be a bit careful.
so what's your concluding points for the like this October like month? Like how many points you are satisfied with, and are you satisfied with top six we are right now, because top four is very competitive right now, and Arsenal and City are not stopping at all.
See, with with the top four or top six, it's you know, I would hate to be Eric Ten Hag in this situation because you just don't know. Do you want to go for the Europa League and risk it all, or do you want to go for the top four, which is equally risky, I believe. This lot hasn't won a trophy since 2017. The last. I mean, I don't think these players know what it takes to sort of win a trophy for Manchester United because it's been so long, probably the longest run without a trophy we've ever had. So
And
that
the
needs to be
longest
taken
team
into
we had,
consideration.
and one of the longest team we had without any like we had this 7 years long team which have a lots of dead wood. All are leaving for free. We are not selling anyone, and they are still
Yep.
playing. Like Roy Keane said, very right. To be honest, I like how Roy Keane is straightforward. I know he's kind of rude, but what he says is true. That these players are from last 5 years. Even United stand, and everyone has said that these players needs to go, or they have to show the dedication to Eric Ten Hag, which you said correctly.
I think I think not just dedication. You need to show that toughness. You need to show that thing in your mentality. You cannot just go around bottling semifinals or Europa League finals. You need to show some. You need to show some gut. You need to show what it takes to be a Manchester United player. You just do not give in. That's what I believe. You do not just if you're one goal down or if there's a penalty shootout or something like that, you just do not drop shoulders and just be a very tempered or a very oh my god, what's going to happen? Will it go this way or will it go that way? You cannot afford that. You need to be ruthless in your approach. How many semifinals, knockout stages we've lost? It's just appalling, for a club like Manchester United to have such a record in those knockout
We
competitions.
lost we lost 14 in
I
total
think
in 7 years. 14 we lost.
yes,
That's
14.
very
So
big.
I think it's just disheartening, and I do believe these players need to win a trophy this season. It's very, very important. Not just for Eric Ten Hag, but I think for the confidence of these players and for us fans, it's very important, even if it's a Carabao Cup. At this stage, I would even happily take a Carabao Cup. Well, obviously, top four in Champions League is more important, but then I think we as fans have been so eluded to a trophy that it's like a thirsty person having a mirage for trophies in a desert. I mean, sorry, it's like a thirsty person having mirages for like water. We're just seeing water and we're not actually there. So as fans, we're just trying to see, where can we win the trophy, but then we know that we're not actually there. So yeah,
So
I think winning a trophy is very
are
important
you
this season.
satisfied with the Europa League top and fifth position? Like we finished top in Europa League and we finished fifth in the October, not taken.
I think yeah, I would say that is a very good. I would say that would be great. To be very honest, with this kind of start we had in the season initially, and team is still a team, in progress. They're still trying to sort of they're still trying to sort of gel in some players and make improvements. So this is a team in progress. I think again we need to have short-term goals. We cannot think too far ahead. As to let's just not go for the league and let's just focus on Europa League or let's just focus on Europa League and not go for the league. We cannot think too far ahead because we have not got ample of qualities on the bench. We do not have that depth. So we need to, measure and, keep those short-term goals one game at a time. We've got Everton next time, get the 3 points, try and improve our performances, not to reflect that mistakes again and again. Then again, the Europa League game, try to top the group because that
Mhm.
it would make us easy for us. So yeah, short-term goals would be very key, would be beneficial for us. Should not think too far ahead, I believe.
So, asking just one word before concluding this, we have Tottenham, Everton, Real Sociedad. What's your point streak on it? Like, how much points you want? All 9 points, or you are thinking Real Sociedad and Tottenham we might draw?
Um, Look, obviously, I want all the 9 points. I do think we can get a result in Everton. I can see Tottenham being a draw, but then again, you can hit them on the break because they play a very, very defensive style. And Real Sociedad, they let's not. I mean, Real Sociedad have been, I think, at the top of the Europa table right now in our league,
And
if
good
I'm
on
not wrong.
counters, more good on counters than
Yeah,
us.
good on counters and stuff. I think Eric Ten Hag should just tell his players, we've got these next 3 games. We need to win all 3 of them. And it's not that, we're asking them to, go back to City, go back to Etihad and, get a result. We are asking them to, get a result
Move
in
forward,
Everton,
basically.
against Everton. Yeah. And against Real Sociedad. Because I believe we have got the squad which can outperform those 2 teams. Tottenham can be a bit 50-50, but I do believe we can get a result in, Real Sociedad and Everton. Against them, we definitely should get like 6 points. And I wouldn't say I would be happy, but if we take a point against Tottenham, it won't be a bad result, I believe, in the long run.
Against Antonio Conte, that's the biggest thing because his tactics are very good. So yeah, that I also support.
Yes.
So let's conclude the conclusion. It was really great to talk with you, Vaibhav, again, and it was a great review and what's next for the season. And I hope you like the video. Please subscribe, like, and comment and tell your views and what do you feel about these upcoming fixtures and of course Cristiano Ronaldo update for January transfer market. See you soon. Follow the Devil NCR.
Yeah.
Adios.